Welcome back to JOMAblog. My name is Mackenzie, and when I'm filming on these beautiful sunny days, I can't help but think about spending Saturdays out on my deck. In fact, it's the perfect time to maintain and repair your deck so that you can actually enjoy it for the rest of the summer. We can go to my deck right now. I'll show you some common deck problems, and then I'll show you some materials you can use to maintain or repair your deck. Let's go. Okay. So this deck has some obvious problems. We've got cracking, cupping, nails sticking out of it. What you do see here is a solid color stain. I did that last year. You can see a little bit of wear and tear on it, but overall it's in good shape. It's also dry. When I moved in, this deck was wet and green, black, slippery. Okay, Bird, let's go inside. Now you can see how relatively smooth these boards are. I actually built this last year just before I treated the deck. If I were to treat this deck once every year, maybe every 2 years, this wood would look like this for the next 30 years. The wood you were just looking at was only 8 years old. It looks terrible for its age. That's because of lack of maintenance. Now look at this mess. I spent a long time putting that miter together and making it just right, but I didn't use the right type of wood. Yes, I used pressure treated wood, of course, to top my rails, but I didn't use kiln dried after treatment or KDAT wood. That wood, when I put it up there, was wet with chemicals and it was heavy. And once I screwed it in, it started to shrink, buckle, and cup. If I were to use KDAT wood, I wouldn't have the same issues. I've got carpenter bees pretty bad, and there's not much I can do to totally prevent them, but I need to fill in the holes. It's gonna prevent them from coming right back and doing more damage. In fact, they're doing some structural damage. All right, my deck is pretty ugly, but after a simple treatment, it's comfortable to be on and it won't get any worse. If you've got an ugly deck, treat it now so that you can actually enjoy it for the rest of the summer. If your deck's in better shape, it's imperative that you continue to maintain it so it never looks like mine down the road. Let's go to Lowe's right now and I'll show you some products that you can use this weekend. Who doesn't love this place? Here's Thompson Water Seal. You want to stay away from this stuff unless last year you used an oil-based stain and it still looks perfect and all you need to do is maintain a little bit of water resistance. Here we have solid color stain. It's waterproof, easy cleanup, quick drying, and it hides imperfections really, really well. But you do lose the wood grain a little bit, which can be disappointing if you've spent a lot of money on some fresh wood or you have an exotic wood. You would not want to use something like this. This is my choice for kind of recovering a nasty old deck. Here's the semi-solid stain. It's also water-based, easy cleanup, and quick drying, but you get to see a little bit of the grain left over. It's good for covering up some imperfections, but if your wood's in pretty good shape, you want to enhance the color, this is what you're looking for here. They're the same brand, Olympic Maximum, and they work basically the same way. Here's a series of traditional stains. These are oil-based, so they're a little harder to use. They're a little stinkier. If you're having a party next weekend, I'd probably not use this. It takes a few weeks to get that oil smell off. It also needs mineral spirits for cleanup, especially if you're using a gun or something to shoot it on there. If you're using brushes, you may just have to throw them away when you're done, but it looks beautiful. If you're using fresh wood, if you're using the KDAT wood, you're gonna get really good results with stuff like this. It's going to have that traditional look, and then later on down the line, if your wood is looking gray or damaged, then you can go for a solid color. But you can't go from solid color back to a stain. It's impossible. So you might wanna start here. Here's a deck restoration product. Now this stuff goes on thick. As you can see here, it's textured. It's supposed to fill in those cracks I showed you on my deck. The only problem I have with this stuff is that it is so thick, it doesn't penetrate the wood in the same way that your stain does. It may peel and crack. Also, I'm not sure if I like that texture. It seems a little bit rough, maybe as ugly as my cracks. Here's an array of cleaning products to prepare your deck. Now you have to clean it really, really good, especially if you have mildew. I went straight for the big jug of this Olympic deck cleaner. It worked really, really well. It was basically like bleaching the deck. So it was hard on plants around. I had to water everything, cover anything I didn't want bleached, or totally ruined a pair of shorts, but it was worth it. It was very, very clean. The wood was bright and yellow and ready to stain when it was dry. I also used a pump sprayer to apply the cleaner. Now, when you're using a Thompson water seal, which I don't recommend, you can also get away with using a pump sprayer to apply. Anything thicker than that, and you're gonna wanna go with a paint sprayer. So now I would go with the cheapest, smallest one. In fact, I would go to Harbor Freight and get a super cheap one. A lot of these products really put up with just basically being splashed on. I'd say maybe upgrade if you're using the solid color stain. I used a pretty cheap sprayer. It was an HVLP sprayer. That's high volume, low pressure. It means a lot of paint was coming out of that tip, but it wasn't being aerosolized so small that it was blowing all over the yard, getting on the cars, getting on the siding. It was basically just shooting big globs of stain right onto the wood. Thank you for watching JOMAblog. I hope this episode has inspired you to go outside and take care of your outdoor living space. Read below for more information. I've also added some helpful links, and sign up for email updates right away. I'll see you outside.